Yeah, my name is Tam Fiofori. I come from what might describe as an upper middle class family. My father was an education officer. My mother was also, by those standards of those days, she was quite brilliant. She went to school. So it was pretty obvious that they wanted their children to have university education, preferably abroad. Because when I was growing up in the 50s, we had just one university in Nigeria. And my dad was a believer in getting his children exposed. Because I came from a family background filled with books and music. My father was into politics, although it was an education. He was aware of what was going on in the world. And he felt that I'll be better exposed and better prepared for life if I had my university education abroad. Abroad meant mostly England. Now it's very interesting in the sense that the Nigerians who went to America were considered to have had an inferior education based on the British prejudice that their system, especially university system, was superior to that of those who were trained in America. So those who were trained in America for a long time, right up until the 70s, suffered this indignation, that, oh, you went to America, American universities are not that good. And then you have the other extreme, the Nigerians who benefited from the policy of what was then the Eastern Bloc. Nigerians who went to Russia, Czechoslovakia, and the Eastern Bloc countries. So they were, in a sense, rated lower than the American-trained people. So abroad, for the elite or for those who thought they knew better, was England. Unfortunately, I was not here when Nigeria became independent. I left Nigeria December 59, no, January 60, and independence came October. But I can say that we felt a transfer of guards. I happened to have attended a school called Jihan El-Tahri Lagos, which was like modeled after the public schools in England. And we had a cadet corps. The idea was to groom us to go into the army to replace the British officers. And I remember that just before independence, we young, high school students had this, confidence. I remember we were on a march and a British officer on a horse rode into us. I was inflamed. I went back and I reported him to the principal and said it was ungentlemanly because, in other words, we were very, very confident. We were looking forward to, in a sense, serving our country, and we were aware of the world, dynamics of world policy. We were very much aware of apartheid. We were very much aware of Ethiopia, because Ethiopia was in the forefront of, Nkrumah was our model, our hero, the idea of Pan-Africanism, the idea of an African force. And between him and later Egypt, Ethiopia was, where the first Pan-African, or what became, Pan-African organization took place before they went to Liberia, at which point Nigeria joined them. When we were in high school, the vogue was to apply for a federal government scholarship, which meant that Nigeria needed manpower. I'm talking about the late 50s, early 60s, in all spheres of life, medicine, law, you name it. And we were encouraged to apply for federal government scholarships. Now, I'm proud to say that I went for the interview and I was awarded a federal government scholarship to study medicine, of all things. Now,
Where?
in London. The idea was to go to one of the medical schools in London. So my father now said to me, because when you got a scholarship in those days, you had to sign a bond, which meant that after your education, you will come back and work for the federal government for 5 years. In other words, like to pay off for your scholarship. So my dad said to me, I know you have a wandering spirit. I don't think it would be fair to have, to bind you up with this proviso that you must work for the government. Don't worry, I'll sponsor your education. And I'm proud to say that he literally gave up a lot, luxuries, he didn't buy new clothes, to make sure that he sponsored my education in England. I studied in England from 60 to 63. I was at King's College, at the Strand. Supposed to read medicine. Somewhere along the line, I stopped at doing a degree in pharmacology.